Good morning. My name is Yiridia de Vries. I am a luthier in Barcelona, and this is a day in my life. I usually get to the workshop around 10. First, I put on some music, and then I look at the whiteboard. If I'm expecting a musician to pick up a repair, I tune their instrument and look it over to make sure there are no surprises. The whiteboard also has any upcoming deadlines and just an overview of all ongoing projects. Most of my time is building new instruments, so it's very self-driven and it's up to me to organize my day. Today's main focus will be to make some progress on this viola scroll. I also have a few other tasks I should get to, and of course the inevitable interruption. But most of my day will be this. And then this. And this. And a bit of that. And more of that. And also this. The most common interruptions are passerbys knocking on my door and asking questions. Sometimes about violins, which I do my best to answer. Often about guitars, which I can't help them with at all. And also just neighbors checking in and saying hello. I live and work in a very friendly neighborhood. Still, the bulk of my time is just working at the bench. And, of course, there are things like accepting packages and working with musicians, which, in the moment, sometimes feels like an interruption, but truthfully is an important and integral part of the work. I actually enjoy really taking the time to talk with musicians, both when they drop off instruments to understand their needs, and when they pick them up again to go over the what and why of the work and make sure they're happy. I usually have lunch at my bench. Normally, I'd be catching up on the news on my phone or texting my partner while eating, but right now I'm using my phone to film myself. It's actually kind of awkward to film yourself eat. And then, importantly, coffee. Part of running your own shop is also doing all of the other jobs, including marketing. So I'm taking some time after lunch to photograph this viola I made so I can update my website. I also tend to take a lot of photos just with my phone during the day, both for social media and also to text Luthier friends. Sometimes it's nice to get a second pair of eyes on something, so I find myself texting, "Does this look weird to you?" a lot. One of my favorite parts of the day is the late afternoon, when school lets out and parents walk past the shop with their kids. They love looking in the window at all the tools and seeing what I'm working on. Since I didn't want to point my camera at the street and film a bunch of kids, you're gonna have to make do with this montage of me waving at them. It's getting towards the end of the day, but before I go, I wanted to make 2 quick cuts with the bandsaw. I'm gonna do the layout with my dividers here, then safety first, of course, set up the bandsaw, and make the cuts. And of course, importantly, clean up. I didn't get to it much today, but sweeping and vacuuming the shop are a very regular task. The last thing before heading home is updating the log. I write down everything I do in a day, especially any measurements like thicknesses or weights I might want to refer to later, and also sometimes ideas about what I want to do tomorrow. I found that for me, it's a lot easier to just write everything down as I go, as opposed to keeping a per job or per instrument record. At home, the absolute first priority is greeting my best friends, Spinoza and Tubman. And, of course, feeding my best friends, Spinoza and Tubman. Then I get to make dinner for myself and for my partner. Since I don't have a computer at the workshop, sometimes I have to take some time at home to address administrative tasks, like updating the accounting, ordering supplies, or my absolute least favorite, updating and managing my social media presence to remind the world I still exist. But usually, the evening is for eating dinner with my partner, catching up on each other's day, and then whatever else we may have planned, whether it's just relaxing, exercise, or going to a concert at l'Auditori or Palau de la Musica. And that's it, until I do it all again tomorrow. In the meantime, thanks so much for spending the day with me. Take care, and if you're ever in Barcelona, please come by and say hello.